What's up, guys? Joey here. Some of you guys might know me as On The Go Joe 86 from TikTok or Instagram, but this is going to be my YouTube channel for backpacking and mostly devoted to backpacking, like what I do for prep, how I started. This is video one of hopefully years of content, all surrounding how I'm approaching this new adventure of becoming a backpacker. I'm not going to be an ultralight backpacker. This is mostly geared towards light backpacking with some ultralight gear. Of course, I want to be the lightest possible, but achieving the true ultralight of like 10 to 15 pounds, not going to happen. For me, we'll get more into the bags and stuff like that in the future, but this is where I'm starting. And this is day one, episode one of how I'm going about it. So, you've decided that you want to start backpacking. I have always been like one that wants to be in tune with nature, and I've done a lot of day hiking, but not a whole lot of backpacking trips. So I figured, why not embark upon multiple day journeys? For me, where does that begin? It begins with training and making sure that I don't get out on a trail and I'm just entirely exhausted the whole time. Of course, that's part of the process, but you have to start somewhere. And for me, that just means getting outdoors more. Or hiking by yourself. For me personally, I gotta walk the dog every day because she definitely misses nature too. She's kind of trapped in the burbs out here in Central California, which is where I'm from, by the way. So yeah, doggy. So for me, first things first, I have to do some body recomposition just to be comfortable backpacking in the first place. And that's because of the hip stabilizer, hip belt on the backpack, and also just to be able to be comfortable hiking for 10 plus miles a day. And where does that start? That starts by just getting outside. Pre-hikes, hiking with your gear, seeing what your limits are. You gotta know your limitations and what you can do comfortably. Did you have fun? Your little hike or walk around the neighborhood? Yeah. Everyone say hello to Emmy, aka Ember. So in terms of training, I use BPN supplements. I'm not sponsored or anything like that by these guys. I just found, in my experience, they're the best compounds. So I use a pre-workout called Flight. One of the most studied excuse me, supplements out there is creatine monohydrate. This helps keep your hydration up and keeps water in your muscles, so that way you can train a little bit harder and endurance doesn't become, it helps ease, that journey while trying to build endurance. And then the last one I use in Endo Pump, which is basically a muscle enhancer or a pump enhancer when you're trying to build muscle, right? So it keeps blood and oxygen flowing at its optimum level during your workout. So it's basically just a greater pump. It has beta alanine or citrulline, casein, tripeptides, things like that in it. I found that like whenever I work out, it does help my workouts. And that's a little bit as far as like my nutrition. The only other thing I'll add is Peak Sleep, which has a bunch of mushroom extracts in it. And then my greens on the daily. Plus a multivitamin, of course. Multivitamins you can never go wrong with. Strong greens. The greens are a must-have, and I'll have those in the morning and whatnot, so that helps out. So for me, like I said, whenever I'm about to lift weights, I'll hit my tri-stack of the pre-workout creatine and the Endo Pump. I have a large amount of muscle, so I require a large amount of protein per day. It's recommended that at the minimum you get 1.6 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. Right now I'm pretty thick. I'm over 200 pounds. So I gotta have, you just basically just take your weight and divide that by 2.2 and that gives you the kg roughly. So for me, I'm like 150 kg or something like that. No, I'm like 90 something kg, sorry. Which means if I take my 90 kg and multiply that by 1.6, that tells me I gotta have probably close to 160 to 170 grams of protein a day to maintain my current muscle. The fact that I'm trying to do some body recomposition, the one number that I don't want to be a deficit in is a protein. Everything else you can be in a deficit in and be okay. But protein, you don't want to be, because you want to build that muscle endurance. You want to have strong and healthy muscle, lean muscle. So it's important to make sure that your protein is up there. I'm not a dietitian or a nutritionist or anything like that. I'm just a regular dude. I do have my CPT, my personal training certification, so I'm good with the muscle and endurance and like working outside of it. I know enough to get by in terms of macros and nutrition and things like that, but the biggest thing for me is just making sure I'm getting enough protein in and making sure you're consistent in your training. You're gonna have days where you don't wanna do it, you're gonna lack motivation, but it's not about motivation, it's about developing discipline and making sure that you're doing everything you can to prepare yourself. So for me, my biggest things right now, getting in better shape, eating better, and then all those little nuances of trying to backpack come into play, experienced people can tell you like, it's a journey, it's a lifestyle actually in a sense. So yeah, this is where we're at. I'm gonna go work out and go from there. Okay. So number one, if we recap a little bit, is training. Number two, eating right. Get your diet dialed in. Get into a situation where you're a little bit of a deficit but getting enough protein, and that way you're able to get your body composition where you want it before embarking upon all these adventures. um, and that's just like getting yourself in the position to be able to start. Of course, you can just like, and this is by no means like a must do kind of thing. You can do it however you want. If you just want to get out on a trail and or backpack and just go for it, then go for it. For me personally, I don't feel like I'm in the position where I'm like I'm ready to just go do like 3 or 4 days at a time just for the hell of it. So this is where we're starting off. It's March 2025. My first long hike is in June. So I got a little less than 3 months left to like get my, or start getting my body where I want it to be. And I feel like that's a good amount of time. So, that being said, we're going to start with doing 5+ miles a day of something. We're going to shift our weightlifting regimen to muscular endurance. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that. But it's essentially just doing higher reps, lighter weight. So that way it's maximizing the fat burning while still focusing on maintaining muscle and that sort of thing. So, that's the plan at least. All right. Got my little workout in for the day, for the most part. We got 2 miles and I did it for about an hour. But you guys have to start where you are and wherever's comfortable for you. For me, this is where I'm at. Luckily, I have quite a bit of muscle memory developed, so I can go pretty far. 2 miles is not far, don't get me wrong. I'm cooking dinner and this is where we're at. So this is the plan. Let me show you how this all breaks down. This is my weightlifting schedule right here. So day 1, chest and back. Day 2, shoulders and arms. Day 3, legs. Core, I have daily listed here. I try to work on core. Core is probably the most important besides, no, I would say core is the most important when it comes to backpacking because it helps stabilize your weight, keep everything strong. Posture is good because posture, if you have bad posture when you're hiking or doing anything, you are going to suffer. Your shoulders, like everything is going to hurt. My plan is to do this 6 days a week. When it comes to lifting weights, I do 5 sets of 8 to 10 reps. Now that we're going to go into backpacking, this is going to turn into five sets of 15 to 20 reps. So that way I can work on muscular endurance rather than size. And for each one of these muscle groups, I'll do 4 exercises, like 4 exercises for chest, 4 for back, 3 to 5 different exercises. This right here, I just call a mile per week tracker, and this tells you how many miles per week we're doing. So for me, I started off, actually, I may want to go up here. Today, let's say we did 2.12 miles. Let's go total for the week, and then I'll write it right here. Y'all don't have to be this complex with your training, but I like to know where I'm at all the time. Never hurts to have a motivational quote. For me, grind, all you need is you. This is my end of week weight or end of week body fat, end of week whatever you want it to be. That way I'm tracking progress. Rather than worrying about your weight, I would go with your body fat. I forgot what this number was here for me. This was something else. The 35.1 is not my body fat. I don't know what I had there. I can't remember. It's been a while since I've been at it, but we'll see. But anyways, that's how I track my exercise stuff. Yeah, it's a journey. No matter what you do, it's definitely a journey. But you got to start somewhere. So for me, that's where I'm starting this week. All right, so this video was mostly about, or at least a general overview of like how I'm beginning my prep stuff. Like, I guess I could go a little bit into my background, right? And why I'm doing this. I've always been an avid like outdoors person, fishing, camping, just day hikes, just anything I can do to get outdoors, right? Well, I want to challenge myself. I want to see what my limitations are because I haven't really done. I've done that in a few different ways throughout life so far. The biggest ones were I was a cop for 13 years. And then I was also in the Army National Guard for 8 years during that 13-year time span of my life. Since then, I've decided that I'm gonna completely live a whole nother life. Because I feel like at this point, I've lived already one lifetime just between everything I've done and accomplished so far. But after leaving law enforcement and after leaving the military, I sort of became lost. And I felt like I lost my sense of purpose. And I was working like jobs that were good jobs and like most people would never complain about. But me personally, I was lacking something. And I didn't know what the future looked like. I did know that I didn't want to live the rest of my life wanting for more. So I decided that I'm going to start all over in life. And that's scary because I'm 39 years old. I may not look like it. Anyways, whatever. I'm 39 years old, okay? And I've had some medical setbacks. I have injuries from the military. I am pretty broken. But that being said, I won't let any of my injuries become setbacks or become things that hold me up. I do know that I don't want to live the rest of my life that way, stuck in a house or like limited on what I can do with my life. So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna start backpacking. Because what better way to fulfill that deep desire to be connected with nature, for me at least, than backpacking? Being outside in the elements and nature in moments where I'm going through like sketchy terrain or I'm encountering bears or wildlife, big cats, things like that. All the things that people are afraid of. And I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I've done some scary things in life as far as like careers and been involved in danger and things like that. But there's nothing more dangerous than seeing if you're able to survive on your own in the wilderness, miles away from help. And I'm not saying don't do this. Like don't be dumb about it. I'm not saying don't take a GPS or like I'm not saying that. I'm just saying why not test yourself and see what you're capable of? So that's why I want to do it. And why not bring all you guys along for the journey? You know, a lot of people know me from my YouTube channels or like Instagram and stuff like that. But I wanted to do some sort of long form content and be able to go more in depth with life and things like that. So here we are. I hope you enjoy, and this is the plan. This is like the first video of many more. If you guys enjoy what I'm doing so far, this first video is kind of dry because it's like, hey, this is where we're starting. We have no content. We have no fun stuff yet. We have the harsh reality of like where you kind of start with all this stuff, at least for me and where I'm at in life. And this is my journey. I'm not a certified outdoor guide. I'm not any of this stuff. I'm just pulling from my experiences in the military, law enforcement, my outdoor stuff. I'm pulling from so many different facets of life, along with hopefully some kind of common sense or like natural instinct to survive, right? So we're pulling from all these areas of life, and that's kind of like where we're gonna start. So like I said, I hope you enjoy this video. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell notification so that way every time I post a video, it uploads. My plan is to post a new video every week, and I'll probably put that in different playlists and we'll go from there. But like I said, peace out.